Hello beer tubers and welcome to yet another beer review with me, Peter, the master of hoppets, today joined by
Tobias, major of macros.
Yes, quite a special review today because we're checking out Denmark's strongest beer. And some people are going to be saying, oh wait, it might not be. Well, it's Denmark's strongest purely fermented beer. So this is actually one I got from a good friend of mine, an old colleague, Tom Schafferhans. He's the brewer at this brewery, and he's actually on the label as a wizard. But he works at Frederikshavn Bryghus, a local brewery in northern Jutland. It's not local. It's not local to us, but a small brewery. And he's been very fascinated with making really strong beers. And he wanted to try and make a beer as strong as he could, but still having it taste good. And he likes Belgian beers, so he was thinking working with Belgian yeast. But what he created is this one, which is Keine Hexerei. A 19% quintuple,
That's it.
or
Quintuple
after quadruple.
Yeah.
It's basically what the recipe is, like an even crazier quadruple. I guess you would call it a Belgian strong dark ale, if you had to call it anything.
I guess that's as massive as it can get.
Yeah, so what he got it to is 90. He said he got it a little bit higher in lab results in some tests, I think. But this was what they could get out in a bigger format. And yeah, so what they basically did, they made the recipe for, he said it was something almost, it was a quadruple, but inspired a bit by porters too. So there's a little bit of brown malt and stuff like that in there. That's also why it's a bit more dark. And then it's been fed various different sugars during fermentation to get it up to the 19% in ABV. There's no date, best before date on this. It says when Godot arrives from the play. We're waiting for Godot. I don't know what it's called in English actually. We went up for Godot. I think it's a French play. But yeah, it's kind of hexerei. It means no wizardry or no sorcery. So meaning this is purely a fermented product. This is not, some people are saying, oh, this is a wine of sorts now because it's 19% or Hilvin as it's called in Denmark. No, there's no grapes in it. It is a beer that's on 19% alcohol.
Because it's grain and sugar.
Yeah. So I know some of the malt, like brown malt, is one of the malts he really likes to put in there. Some dark caramel malts and whatnot, and then also I think a touch of, was it chocolate malt or roasted barley? But otherwise, it's got 100 EBC, so it's also quite dark for a quintuple or Belgian strong dark ale. But they can vary a lot in color. It's 70 IBUs, so a lot of bitterness too. And then the sugars they use is glucose, candied sugar, muscovado sugar, and also plain white sugar. Glucose, isn't that plain white sugar?
Glucose is syrup.
Oh, the syrups.
Yeah.
So water, barley, malt, hops, and yeast. So this will be interesting to decide. This is being released on the 19th, and we're shooting this on the 18th, where he also has a little pre-tasting. We're cheating a bit, but they actually made a mistake by selling it too early from the distributor. So some people have tried it already. But that's okay. We're going to be trying Denmark's strongest beer. It's going to be fun. See if it's any good. So pour is a very dark color. I mean, it's like a really dark, like almost like the darkest you could call a red or a brown. Because if you look at the top, it's got brown notes. It doesn't look like a stout. Also because it's not as thick.
You can see through the first centimeter or so.
Yeah.
Around the edges.
So it looks like just like a really, really dark Belgian strong dark ale. Yeah. Almost if you think something like this Striese Pennepot. Yeah. They call that a dark fisherman ale or something, but that's also Belgian strong dark ale. I have a little bit of head on mine, but it's expected for a 19% beer. Yeah. When it poured out, there was some kind of brownish. But
it says on the bottle that it should have a small white head.
Yeah, but not really. But also, Tom actually was the one who said he would think I should use these glasses because these were what he found best for drinking the beer. So. Okay. Belgian beer glasses like Trappist goblets, or chalices. So let's check out the aroma on the strongest beer in Denmark. It actually smells quite nice for a 19% beer. Yeah. It's not super boozy on the aroma. No. This is
impressive.
He recommended to take it out of the fridge for about 20 minutes before serving, and we cheated a bit and run it under hot tap, but I think the temperature is good.
Yeah.
Lightly chilled.
Yeah.
There is a touch of alcohol, but not too much, and I'm definitely getting
a little bit.
That brown malt, that really bready, kind of slightly caramelly vibe.
I'm more on the caramelly side, like caramelized sugar.
Yeah.
Maybe some dark syrup notes, maybe some over in the dark fruit area, dried dark fruit.
Lots of dried dark fruit. Lots of like pruny, raisiny, figgy, but even also like wine gum, I think.
Yeah.
Like Bassett's Wine Cup, the
Yeah, that's
Western
true.
one or something like that, like the dark ones. And then there's phenolics too. There's definitely a spiciness, like a pepper or something like that, black pepper. Maybe even white pepper. But it smells very Belgian. It really smells like just an amped up Belgian strong dark ale, really. And then maybe even a hint of a chocolate-esque thing or something like that. Or even almost like a burnt, kind of slightly smoky vibe, but it's like super light.
Yeah.
You want to give it a taste?
Absolutely.
Let's try the strongest beer in Denmark, Anno 2020. Oh yeah.
Whoa.
Woo! But it's not. It's actually really well balanced.
I'm surprised.
I'm really surprised. It's
Damn.
surprisingly drinkable. I think this is, and I'm not just tooting Tom's horn because he's a friend of mine, but
This is good.
Mikkele's attempt at making really strong stouts, I like it better like this in a Belgian beer.
Yeah.
Much better. Because I think the alcohol works better with the phenolics and
Yeah.
the dark fruit esters.
I mean, you can taste that it's a strong beer, but
Yeah,
but
it's
it's just
warming.
like it's warming, but it's also very very powerful
In taste.
In taste,
And
and it's
complexity.
almost like drinking a wine. Yeah.
Yeah. A very strong wine. Fortified wine.
Yeah.
Yeah, very impressive. Very like candy sugar, caramel, like very like that Belgian candied sugar. Like when you had, maybe your grandmother had those like small candied sugars to put in coffee, like mine did, like the brown ones. It's a lot of that. And there's like almost like a light, don't like burnt bready kind of thing or something like that. You can feel there's a toasty malt. It might be the brown malt. And yeah, really jammy dark fruit. And it's sweet too.
To be completely honest, I was a bit afraid before drinking this
Me
because
too.
it could easily have been one of those beers where you were like, oh, God damn,
I'm
what
really-
are they even doing
I'm
here?
really pleasant. This is a
Yeah,
pleasant beer to drink for a 19% beer. And it's fun because a lot of brewers have tried to do this over the years, but a lot of times they've ended up making really boozy beers that are not that nice to drink. I mean, it really dries out and you feel the warmth going down. But I don't think it's in a bad way. It's not like taking a shot or something like that. It's
No.
almost like when you have a sip of some kind of liqueur of sorts or something like that.
I
But
think
it tastes still like more like a Belgian beer. It doesn't taste like a liqueur. It just tastes like a really amplified Belgian strong dark ale. I think.
To me, if I was served this blind, I would probably have guessed that it was some kind of dark Belgian beer, maybe a quadruple, but then wine barrel aged.
Yeah.
Like a wine
Yeah, it
barrel
is
aged pen
vinous.
pot or something like that.
Yeah, because it is a bit vinous and almost there is almost like a tannic thing like in oak. But it's surprisingly good and surprisingly drinkable
Yeah.
for a 19% beer. Yeah.
It would actually be interesting to see where this would go with the wine barrel aging.
Yeah. Tom. Age it in like a Bordeaux red wine barrel.
Yeah.
Or a cognac barrel.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that could be amazing.
Because it has a good body. It's like quite slick and velvety. There must be a lot of leftover sugar still. Almost getting hints of coffee to it as well. Which it might be from a bit of the like really dark malts you used in there. And then almost like coca nibby, but mostly it's like the dark fruit and caramels and whatnot. And they're really intense on those vibes. And like the Belgian yeast character, that crazy ester. There are so many dark fruity esters here, which is a combination of course esters, but also the dark malts. And then the hints of phenolics. Actually, not too many phenolics on the flavor, more so on the aroma. It's got a little bit of spice, but it's more like all these sweet fruit. Almost like, if you poured like cognac or red wine or something and reduced kind of dark fruits.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think this is surprisingly good. I'm going to go like 93, 92. I'm really impressed about how drinkable this is for 19% beer.
Yeah.
And again, I'm not just saying that because Tom is my friend and he, said, could you do a review on this? It is actually a really good beer. For a 19% beer. So setting out to do the strongest beer in Denmark that actually also tastes good, I think is a very good success.
That's absolutely accomplished.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna hit the same range. 92 was my thought.
Yeah. Again, it's
really good.
It's the reason why I'm not going higher either is because it's not exactly my style either. I'm more into stouts and whatnot. But I think, again, as you said, with some barrel aging, this could be really fun. So brew another batch and barrel age it, and then you'll have one that's even stronger. 20%, 22%.
Yeah. But then it's Keine Hexerei.
Then it's not Keine Hexerei, then it's extra Hexerei. Which means, It's really good. It's worth a shot for sure. This is flying. I think right now it's getting a lot of attention on social media and whatnot because it's the strongest beer in the country. So I think the video where they announced it got like 250,000 views. So hopefully a lot of people will get to try it in Denmark now because it's being spread all over the country. So nice stuff. It really lingers on your palate too with flavors like figs and it's very nice. So if you guys have the chance to try Frederikshavn Bryghus Keine Hexerei, let us know what you thought of it. Just released, so go get some. The strongest beer in the country that's naturally fermented. Thanks a ton, Tom. This was fun to try. Looking forward to see what you'll be doing with this one. So if you guys already had a chance to try this one, let us know what you thought of it. As always, remember to comment, subscribe, check out the Facebook fan page and Twitter and Instagram, and give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Do you have a favorite, like, really strong beer? You know, there's Dogfish Head, Worldwide Stout, and they do their 120-minute IPA. I think those are just purely fermented. And Brewdog also did some that weren't free distilled. I think Ghost Deer, or a few breweries have tried something like this. So, kind of without ice bucking. So, let us know. And, we're going to say cheers. And see you guys in the review.